Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to another edition of Go Long Sports. I'm your host, Brandon Long, and today we're going to be talking about a topic that's got me real fired up. The NBA continues to be the gift that keeps on giving, even in the off season. Seems like shit's more popping now in the off season than it was during the damn playoffs. We won't even get into that. So, one of the trending topics that's been on Twitter over the past week, you see him right here. Which LeBron James was the best version of LeBron James? Now, the thing about LeBron James versus any other player in history is that he's honestly the most interesting man in the earth. It should have been LeBron in the Dos Equis commercials. Instead of the nigga look like Garza Grandpa. But what makes LeBron so interesting is that there's always a story that follows him along. Like no matter what he does. Like one night he can roll his ankle to the ground and then come back the next day. The next night he can be getting chased around the stadium by Isaiah Stewart. You never know what's gonna happen when you're dealing with LeBron James. So I'm gonna kind of like break down each chapter in LeBron James' career, and then I'm gonna give you guys my take on which LeBron James was the best. And another thing that makes this topic so interesting is that when LeBron James, each stint he had with every team, he was the same player, but it was kind of a different version of LeBron James. Like his game wasn't the same. For instance, Kevin Durant, Oklahoma City, Kevin Durant and Golden State Warriors, Kevin Durant, Brooklyn Nets, and Kevin Durant, wherever the fuck he's about to go right now, he's going to be the same guy. His game looks the same. You could take tape from KD in 2010 and tape from KD in 2015, tape from KD yesterday, and the tape looks pretty much the same. Like he really hasn't had to add new moves to his arsenal. He's 7 foot. He could just raise up and shoot over you. Okay, so we're going to start off with LeBron's first stint in Cleveland. Okay. 2002, the Cavaliers go 17-65. Suck. Get the lottery, first pick, LeBron James. Who would have knew, Cleveland, hometown stories, write yourself, yada, yada, yada. 2003, he takes that team from 17-65, wins 18 more games, goes 35-47. The next year, 2004, he goes 42-40. Next year, 50-32, couple 50-32 seasons, 45-37. In 2008, they win 66 games, 66-16. And in 2009, they win 61 games. And then once LeBron leaves, they go 19-63, right back to the first pick in the draft. I think they chose Anthony Bennett, some bum ass nigga. But so basically, LeBron James was a game changer from the start. And I'm gonna make this a little bit more personal because at the time, during all this, I'm a young kid coming up in Southern California. All we know is Kobe Bryant, and a lot of people aren't able to let this go. So just listen to what I'm saying, especially a lot of diehard Kobe Bryant fans. They did not. I did not want to accept LeBron's greatness, especially at this stage of his career, because he was a threat to Kobe Bryant's legacy. Not that they was playing in the finals, but he was a threat. And what I mean by that is there'd be Guinness Book of World Records. You remember them Guinness Book of World Records that they would have in elementary school back in the day? They don't have that anymore. I'm sure in elementary there's probably no books, just iPads. But it would be youngest player to score 15,000 points, and it was Kobe Bryant. Then a couple years later, youngest player, LeBron. Get that bum ass nigga out of here. Not calling Kobe a bum, but you know what I'm trying to say. Youngest player to score 20,000. Kobe. Boom. LeBron. A couple years later, nah, it's me now, nigga. What's up? So it was kind of like, wait, hold on. Who the hell does this nigga think he is? He ain't got no rings, so you trying to break all Kobe? Calm the fuck down over there. So, and really another amazing thing about LeBron at this time is that if you watch his game, he was just dominating off of just pure athleticism. Like he really didn't have any go-to moves. He could shoot okay. He was just freakishly athletic. Like I still to this day, I don't think I've seen any. And he was just a locomotive that he is today. He put on size over the years, but he was still a freight train. Like to this day, find me some. Is there any time you remember somebody taking a charge in front of LeBron James? Niggas that take a charge in front of Zion. Let me calm down. They'll take a charge in front of Rudy Gobert before they take a charge in front of LeBron. Nah, I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. Something. He was just a just athletic freak, and he was able to do all this. Basically, is what I'm saying. Put up all these numbers, take a team to the finals in 2007, get his ass whooped because his best player at the time was Boobie Gibson. He was able to do that, and he really didn't know what he was doing. If you look at what his game evolved into, he did not know what he was doing. Really. He was just out there just playing. Just, I got the ball like against the Pistons, did 23 points in the fourth quarter. It was probably one of the greatest, honestly, might be the greatest fourth quarter in NBA history, especially including the playoffs. And he was just manning buckets at 21 years old. Manning buckets at 21 years old in the NBA is crazy. And also, I'm going to dissect those 60 win seasons. 60 win seasons. 60 win seasons with your best player as Mo Williams was an all-star, but he was only an all-star because he was on the best team with LeBron. And at that time, LeBron was definitely making everybody on that team better. They had no business, especially at 07 year. Like, the media is pretty fair when they talk about that 07 championship. They give him shit for the 2011 loss, but pretty much the whole world acts like that 07 shit didn't even happen because, come on, what are you going to do? Fucking Boobie Gibson. Going out there with Boobie Gibson is like going out there with Smush Parker as your best player, if we're being honest, bro. No disrespect to Boobie Gibson, but nigga, Delonte West better than him. Okay. So okay, you guys probably get the gist, but first stint Cavs Braun is not the greatest version. He's an athletic freak, but he didn't know what he was doing, and you're going to see where I go with this, okay? The Miami Heat, the decision. Okay, no. Pump the brakes a little bit. I'm gonna go back to first stint Braun for a quick second. Another aspect of me being a diehard Laker fan and Kobe Bryant fan, and what I came to grips with. This guy with his second best player as Boobie Gibson and Mo Williams was taking teams to the finals, was winning 60 games, 66 games in 08. 61 games in 09, the year before he left to Miami. That's fucking unheard of. That's like, God damn. That's like someone, shit. I was gonna say it's like someone would do as Jalen Brunson as their best player, but Jalen Brunson's better. Damn, I can't even say that's not even like someone doing that with Dennis Schroeder, because Dennis Schroeder's better than both them niggas. So it's just like I don't even know what to compare it to. This shit's never happened. So, another aspect, Kobe at the time, he was scoring 81 points. We all know he was 20 straight games with 50 points, 60. He was going crazy. He was getting buckets. But those teams were losing. I think the best year that the Lakers had with Kobe, when Kobe was by himself, Kobe didn't start winning rings again until Paul Gasol came. And niggas act like they're blind. But that's the truth of what happened. Shaq left. The Lakers were mid. They were very mid. They went 42-40 a couple times. I remember they blew a 3-1 lead to Phoenix. Kobe was pouting in the first round. Kobe was pouting Game 7. He didn't want to shoot because everyone said he shot too much. But if you look at what Kobe was doing with the talent around him versus LeBron was doing and with the talent around him, I get that the East was harder than the West. But I'm telling you, if you put LeBron on the Lakers at that time, those teams are fucking winning 60 games. That's just how good he was at that time. And once again, I'll restate the fact that he didn't know what he was doing even. He was a baby, man. He was an NBA baby. He was just out there playing fucking LA Fitness pickup ball damn near. Okay, so then he goes to Miami. Not one, not two, not the, yeah. Everyone hated him. I hated him. Okay. I hate LeBron up until this point. So through the whole, I still hate this nigga. I don't hate him anymore. And then once I stopped hating this nigga, I will let y'all know this the year I stopped hating this nigga. Okay. So 2011, hate him. He goes to the Miami Heat, teams up with D Wade, with Chris Bosh. This was crazy. I mean, we've seen like the Boston's big three, but this is the first time that players got together and pretty much created their own big three. So like pretty much the NBA world was like, okay, like, well, they should probably win the title, so we'll see what happens. The first year LeBron balls out during the regular season. I think they started off 8-8, 9-8. Took them a while to figure it out, but then they got on a roll. They meet Dallas in the finals, and this Dallas Mavericks team, it's I kind of equate. This is kind of parallel. You guys know when like the Giants were getting hot at the right time, like when the Giants in '07 and the Giants in 2011, like a team just clicks at the right time and is fucking unbeatable. That's what this Mavericks team. People give LeBron shit for getting his ass kicked. He got kicked in his ass and sent home. Got kicked right in his ass. I'm not going. I watched it. Saw him get kicked in his ass. I was cheering it on the whole time. I was like, "Yep, get this bum ass. I don't want to see him win nothing. I like Kobe. I'm tired of him breaking records. Kick him in his ass." So I'm with y'all. So I understand the hate, but this Mavericks team, the same team that kicked LeBron in his ass, they swept the Lakers that just won the championship the year before. Swept them pretty easily. Everybody remembers the infamous Andrew Bynum elbow to J.J. Barea at the end of the game, gets ejected with like a minute left, gets out of there, and that's pretty much the end of Kobe Bryant's career. Kobe Bryant could have tied his shoes up at the end of that shit, and it wouldn't have made it. Nothing happened after that, really. Being honest. Love you, Kobe. Rest in peace, man. My Instagram, Twitter handles belong24. That's for a reason. And all my shit got 24 at the end of it. I grew up a diehard Kobe fan. So all respect to Kobe, but the facts are the facts, man. So I digress. So besides that, he got kicked in his ass. Let's move on to the next year. He figures it out because Dwayne Wade goes up to LeBron in the next year, 2012, and tells him, "Hey, bro, like, listen, you are the best player. You're the best player on this team. So go, nigga. Don't look at me when shit's tight." Because LeBron, at the first year, he would look at D Wade like, "Go ahead, man. I don't want to step on your toes at times." And Dwayne Wade, he was like, maybe like this is my team still, but he realized like LeBron is just way better than him. So he's like, dude, like I'd be a damn fool not to just hand you the keys to this shit, man. Like you've never seen some shit like you before. And also around this time, LeBron's game was changing. He wasn't just getting the ball and going, calling pick and rolls and going, just making shit happen for everybody. He started to work with Hakeem Olajuwon and really refine his post game. And he bulked up. He got stronger shoulders. You can see that nigga shoulders from here probably. And he really started working on his game, started working on his mid-range game. His three-point shot wasn't the best. I think probably his three-point shot was probably the worst in Miami because that nigga was so buff. He probably had to adjust to the shit. But he had a different, he was locomotive and at the time during that stretch, the best defender in the NBA 1 through 5. If you put him on anybody, they get locked down. And he had the energy to get the ball and go full court anytime he needed to. So it's just this guy, man. He's ridiculous. Oh, boy. Okay, so they win the title 2012, figured out 2012 against OKC. OKC wins the first game, then they sweep the rest of the series. 2013, he keeps getting better. And they play the Spurs. Everyone remembers that classic series, the Ray Allen shot that, quote-unquote, according to Skip Bayless, saved his legacy. No shot at Skip. Skip, I think Skip's the GOAT. But he be tripping on when he be talking about LeBron. 2014, gets his ass kicked by the Spurs. Dwayne Wade's knees is going out. Chris Bosh has blood clots. It's a wrap. Ain't nothing here, man. Like I'm back where I was in Cleveland in the first place, bro. Like I can't do this. Like you saw what D Wade and them did after he left. The fucking Heat might have been in the lottery damn near after. So out of there, goes back to Cleveland, and this LeBron James, the second stint in Cleveland, is the best version of LeBron James, and I'll got an even hotter take for you in about a couple of minutes. So 2015, they make it to the final fairly easily against the Golden State Warriors who are coming up. Kyrie goes down. K Love gets his shoulder torn out by Kelly Olynyk against the Celtics. And they end up losing that series. LeBron did everything he could, but he was back in Cleveland basically in the finals that year because his second best player was Matthew Dellavedova. What the fuck? I mean, the hell was that? I mean, you might as well have me out there at that point. So next year, come back, fully loaded clip. Everyone knows the Warriors 73-9. Cavs make it to the finals, face up. And I just want to remind you guys, at this time, I still hate LeBron James. I hate this nigga still. So I'm rooting my ass off for Steph. And people forget at this time that the Warriors, That 73-9 team, you couldn't turn on ESPN. You couldn't turn on any sports talk without them talking about, is this the greatest team ever? Every time they talked about the Warriors, they had a picture of the 96 Bulls that went 72-10 on that chase for them beating the record. They were comparing them to that team. They were comparing Stephen Curry to Michael Jordan. Why does everyone act like this wasn't happening? This is what was happening. Is Steph Curry better than Michael Jordan? Is this the best team ever? With the 73-9 Warriors beat them? No, them niggas would get waxed. And when they got KD, that's the best team ever. But forget about that for the meantime. Stephen Curry. This isn't a Stephen Curry segment, but I'm gonna say this, man. This once they lost that series, gave up that 3-1 lead, blew it to LeBron, which was insane. Like, it was heartbreaking, man. Like, the whole world was rooting for Steph, honestly, and LeBron was in the villain role, kind of. As far as, like, everyone who didn't want to see them go 73-9 and win the title, who doesn't like to watch greatness, who doesn't want to watch history. Steph had it, and I watched that. I looked Steph in his eyes through the television and saw that nigga. I was like, dude, like, it was kind of like, you guys, if anybody's watched Avatar, I don't really watch Avatar, but I always remember, like, in the beginning, and when those people needed him the most, he vanished. Like, there was some shit like that. You guys fuck me up in the comments. I don't know if I'm quoting it right. But when them niggas needed Steph the most, he vanished. He was shooting like me. It was sad to watch, man. And we just watched. LeBron pretty much said, shit, you niggas don't want to take this championship. I'm going to take it. And that's what he did. Him and Kyrie. Kyrie hits the biggest shot in NBA history. Don't want to talk about it. Biggest shot in NBA history. The rest is history. 2017. This 2017 Cavaliers team is probably the best team LeBron's ever played on. I remember the way, I think at the time, fast forward through that season to the playoffs, them and the Warriors, because this is a weird time in the NBA where everyone knew it was the Cavs and Warriors, which is insane. Like, looking back on it, that's I don't know if that's ever going to happen again, where like 4 years in a row, everyone's like, oh yeah, it's going to be Cavs Warriors. And so then that Cavs team was sweeping through the East in the finals, sweeping everybody. I think both teams were fucking damn near. I think the Warriors were like 16-0 or 12-0 going into the finals, and the Cavs were 12-1. If my memory is right, they lost one game off a buzzer beater to Avery Bradley, where the shit like bounced up and on the rim a whole bunch of times, but they still beat them in 5. And so then they meet them in the finals, and everyone was expecting a great series, but the Warriors, that team was just too much, and they had too much chip on their shoulder. They was pissed off from losing that 73-9 season, and then they added Kevin Durant, top 3 scorer of all time. Put him wherever you want. He could be number 1 if you want. I'm not mad at that. Top 3 one-on-one ISO scorer all time. Add that to a team that just went 73-9. And especially since you traded him out for the nigga who was trying to help them lose that series, Harrison Barnes. Well, I mean, like, you look back at it and it's like, fuck, like, what the fuck can you do? 2018. Okay, by the way, even after Bron won 2016, I still hated that nigga. So keep track of this. My LeBron hate radar, I'm still hating him. Blind. Y'all still hate him too. So you know what I'm talking about. But 2018, Kyrie wants to leave. He can do what he wants. That team had, at the beginning of the season, D-Wade, Derrick Rose, Isaiah Thomas. Complete shit show. So they freak the roster. It ends up working out, get some young guys out there. And the 2018 playoffs. Everyone was watching this playoff. This might be the highest rated playoffs ever, I swear to God. LeBron James. The 2018 playoffs is the greatest playoff performance. That whole playoffs, up until game 1 of the finals, that whole playoff performance, that is the greatest basketball player in NBA history. That is the greatest basketball man who walks the earth, has no superpowers, can't fly. The greatest nigga to ever pick up a basketball is the 2018 LeBron James. He was like, the stuff I seen him do that year, as far as literally putting the team on your back. His second best player was Jeff Green, and they had formidable opponents in the playoffs. They struggled against the Pacers, took them 7. That team was tough. They had a healthy Victor Oladipo who was at that time before the injury, becoming a superstar. He still had Sabonis getting buckets. They had a squad, and he took them 7, took everything out of them. You would think. Toronto, he comes. They call it LeBronto. He gives Drake a noogie real quick, gets him up out of there in 4. Everyone remembers the sweeping buzzer beater, Game 3. Just took their hearts out. And then the Eastern Conference Finals. Dude. Against the Celtics team, Ricky, Jason Tatum, Terry Rozier, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, a good-ass team. Basically the team that went to the finals this year. Just a little bit younger. And they had guys. Kyrie was on them, but he was hurt, so he didn't get to play. But that was a squad. And it took everything out of LeBron to beat them, you would think. And just go back and watch that series, man. Like, this guy was doing everything. He was chase down blocks, blocking, meeting niggas at the rim, dunking. He just literally forced. I don't think any other player wins that series with Jeff Green as your second best player against that team other than LeBron James. It's just hard for me to. I'm sure maybe a few. That's not all. I'm not saying that Celtics team was an all great team, but everything in consideration what he was working with and the way that Celtics team was playing at the time, like that was remarkable. Fast forward to the finals, the Golden State Warriors, they fucking sweep everybody in the West again. Fucking, oh God. And Game 1 of the NBA Finals, LeBron James 2018 against the Golden State Warriors in Oracle Arena. The greatest game I've ever seen played. I didn't see Michael Jordan score 63 against Boston in the Garden in the playoffs in 86. I didn't see Kobe Bryant score 81 against the Toronto Raptors in 05-06. But I saw this game, and this game is the greatest game ever played. They lost the game. And if a lot of people are lazy and they listen to Twitter, and Twitter will tell you that, oh, the Heat LeBron, all right, listen. And this is the Twitter best game for LeBron James. Game 6, 2012 Eastern Conference Finals against the Boston Celtics. Scores 45, 5 assists, 15 rebounds. Everyone knows the look that he's giving with his hands on his knees and shit. Game 1, his stats were 51, 8, and 8. But the way he was scoring these buckets during this whole playoff stretch in 2018 was the hottest that LeBron James has been for 3 for that 2-month stretch. Like, you hoopers know, like, you guys know, like, when you're in a good rhythm for a consistent amount of time, it's like you don't even feel the ball coming out of your hand. You just shooting the shit going in. Like, he was unconscious. He was unconscious for that whole playoffs pretty much. And in Game 1, scores 51. Watch those highlights, man. Like, you're not gonna see a better offensive performance than that. Like, it was sickening. He was doing it from 3. He was getting to the rim. He was dunking on niggas. He was pulling up mid-range, fadeaways, step backs, the whole shebang-a-bang. Tay took that team to overtime, which they had no business taking the greatest team in history to overtime with your second best player. That's Jeff Green. Everyone remembers the J.R. Smith. The J.R. Smith play. Oh, God. Yeah. And then after that game, LeBron breaks his hand. And that throws off his rhythm for the rest of the series. It's kind of weak. I get it. It's kind of weak that after they got swept, he nigga went to walk in there with a hand cast after, like, oh, yeah, the shit was broken the whole time. I can't even feel it. Do I even still have a hand? Like, yeah, you still have a hand, nigga. It's right there. I'm looking at it. But what can you do? Like, I understand his frustration. I might have punched the wall too. And if you've been keeping up on my LeBron James hate timeline, this is when I stopped hating him. I said, oh my goodness, this nigga is the greatest ever. We watched him do it in 2016. This shit ain't fair. This nigga is the greatest ever, and this shit is not fair for the greatest nigga ever to have to go through some shit like this, playing some niggas like this. Like, it gave me an appreciation of his game. And because it was like, dude, like, this, where the fuck, this has never happened, and I'm probably never going to see this again. Like, this, the greatest player ever, just getting prime years of greatness wasted because Kevin Durant wants to run to a team that went 73-9. Like, I'm not knocking him for doing it. He could do it. He's a grown man. Could do whatever the fuck he wants, but eh, LeBron James's career would, as far as rings go, would be looking a lot different if KD didn't do that, because I don't think that the Warriors ever beat them niggas if KD doesn't come there. And Draymond Green even said that in his podcast. Cause that 2017 Cavs team, go back, look at that team. That team was damn near the Globetrotters too. Okay, so then LeBron James, after that, goes to the Lakers with a young core, trades everyone away, yada yada yada. It's still going on right now. The thing, he's probably the most skilled now in his stint with the Lakers than he's ever been in his career. But 2018, 2018 he had a little less skill than he has now, a little less tricks in his bag, but he had the athleticism to turn it on, to still guard 1 through 5 whenever he needed to, and still be able to carry a team of bums to the finals. I don't think that 2022 LeBron James, if you put him on that 2018 roster, they probably lose to Indiana in the first round. So he needs a little bit more help now, but he's still good enough to win a championship as your best player. So there you have it, guys. 2018 Bron, second stint with the Cavs. Bron is the greatest version of Bron, in my opinion. 2018 Bron is the greatest player in NBA history. And Game 1 of the NBA Finals 2018 by LeBron James, 51-8-8, is the greatest game ever played. Peace.